Hello, my name is Catherine, and I am reading to you from the book The Power of Positive Thinking, Chapter 9, Part 2, How to Break the Worry Habit. Howard Christie was a great artist with a brush, but he was an equally great artist with life because he was able to take a great truth and simplify it down to its basic fact, namely that only that comes out of the mind which originally you put into your mind. Fill the mind with thoughts of God rather than your thoughts of fear, and you will get back thoughts of faith and courage. Worry is a destructive process of occupying the mind with thoughts contrary to God's love and care. Basically, that is all worry is. The cure is to fill the mind with thoughts of God's power, His protection, and His goodness. So, spend 15 minutes daily filling your mind full of God. Cram your mind full of the I believe philosophy, and you will have no mental room left to accommodate thoughts of worry and lack of faith. Many people fail to overcome such troubles as worry because, unlike Howard Christie, they allow the problems to seem complicated and do not attack it with some simple technique. It is surprising how our most difficult personal problems often yield to an uncomplicated methodology. This is due to the fact that it is not enough to know what to do about difficulties. We must also know how to do what? How to do that which should be done. The secret is to work out a method of attack and keep working on it. There is value in doing something that dramatizes our own minds, that an effective counterattack is in process. In so doing, we bring spiritual forces to bear upon the problem in a manner both understandable and usable. One of the best illustrations of this technique, strategy against worry, was a scheme developed by a businessman. He was a tremendous worrier. In fact, he was fast getting himself into a bad state of nerves and ill health. His particular form of worry was that he was always doubtful as to whether he had done or said the right thing. He was always rehashing his decisions and getting himself unnerved about them. He was a post-mortem expert. He is an exceptionally intelligent man, in fact, a graduate of 2 universities, in both instances with honors. I suggested that he ought to work out some simple method that would help him to drop the day when it was over and go ahead into the future and forget it. I explained the gripping effectiveness of simple, dramatized spiritual truth. It is always true that the greatest minds have the best ability to be simple. That is, they have the capacity to work out some simple plans for putting profound truths into operation. And this man did that in connection with his worries. I noticed that he was improving and commented on it. "Oh yes," he said, "I finally got the secret, and it has worked amazingly well." He said that if I would drop into his office sometime towards the close of the day, he would show me how he had broken the worry habit. He telephoned me one day and asked me to have dinner that evening. I met him at his office at closing time. He explained that he had broken his worry habit while working out a little ritual that he performed every night before leaving his office, and it was quite unique. It made a lasting impression on me. We picked up our hats and coats and started towards the door. By the door of his office stood a wastebasket, and above it on the wall was a calendar. It was not one of those calendars where you see a week or a month or 3 months. It was a one-day calendar. You see, only one day at a time, and that day was in large print. He said, "Now, I will perform my evening ritual, the one that has helped me break the worry habit." He reached up and tore off the calendar page for that particular day. He rolled it into a small ball, and I watched with fascination as his fingers slowly opened and he dropped that day into the wastebasket. Then he closed his eyes and his lips moved, and I knew that he was praying, so was respectfully silent. Upon finishing his prayer, he said aloud, "Amen. Okay, the day is over. Come on, let's go out and enjoy ourselves." As we walked down the street, I asked, "Would you mind telling me what you said in that prayer?" He laughed and said, "I don't think it is your kind of prayer." But I persisted, and he said, "Well, I pray something like this: Lord, you gave me this day. I didn't ask for it, but I was glad to have it. I did the best I could with it, and you helped me. And I thank you. I made some mistakes. That was when I didn't follow your advice, and I am sorry about that. Forgive me, but I had some victories and successes too, and I am grateful for your guidance. But now, Lord, mistakes or successes, victories or defeats, the day is over and I'm through with it. So I'm giving it back to you. Amen." Perhaps this isn't an orthodox prayer, but it certainly proved to be an effective one. He dramatized the finishing of the day, and he set his face to the future, expecting to do better the next day. He cooperated with God's method. When the day is over, God blacks it out by bringing down the curtain of night. By this method, this man's past mistakes and failures, his sins of omission and commission, gradually lost their hold on him. He was released from the worries that accumulated from his yesterdays. In this technique, this man was practicing one of the most effective anti-worry formulas, which is described in these words: "But this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Jesus Christ." Other practical anti-worry techniques may suggest themselves to you, and I should like to hear those which are, after careful use, prove effective. I believe that all of us who are interested in self-improvement are fellow students in God's great spiritual laboratory. Together, we work out practical methods of successful living. People from everywhere are kind enough to write me about their methods and the results attained. I try to be helpful in making tested methods available to others through books, sermons, newspaper columns, radio, television, and other media. In this manner, there can be developed a great many people who have the know-how for overcoming not only worry, but other personal problems as well. To conclude this chapter in a manner designed to help you to go to work, now, to break the worry habit, I list a 10-point worry-breaking formula. 1. Say to yourself, worry is just a very bad mental habit, and I can change any habit with God's help. 2. You became a warrior by practicing worry. You can become free of worry by practicing the opposite and stronger habit of faith. With all the strength and perseverance you can command, start practicing faith. Point 3. How do you practice faith? First thing every morning, before you arise, say out aloud, I believe 3 times. Point 4. Pray using this formula. I place this day, my life, my loved ones, my work in the Lord's hands. There is no harm in the Lord's hands, only good. Whatever happens, whatever results, if I am in the Lord's hands, it is the Lord's will and it is good. Point 5. Practice saying something positive concerning everything about which you have been talking negatively. Talk positively. For example, don't say, this is going to be a terrible day. Instead, affirm, this is going to be a glorious day. Don't say, I'll never be able to do that. Instead, affirm, with God's help, I will do that. Point 6. Never participate in a worry conversation. Shoot an injection of faith into all your conversations. A group of people talking pessimistically can infect every person in the group with the negativism. But by talking things up rather than down, you can drive off that depressing atmosphere and make everyone feel hopeful and happy. Point 7. One reason you are a worrier is that your mind is literally saturated with apprehension thoughts, defeat thoughts, gloomy thoughts. To counteract, mark every passage in the Bible that speaks of faith, hope, happiness, glory, radiance. Commit each to memory. Say them over and over again until these creative thoughts saturate your subconscious mind. Then, the subconscious mind will return to you when you have given it, namely optimism, not worry. Point 8. Cultivate friendship with hopeful people. Surround yourself with friends who think positive, faith-producing thoughts and who contribute to a creative atmosphere. This will help you re-stimulate your faith attitudes. Point 9. See how many people you can help to cure their own worry habits. In helping others to overcome worry, you get greater power over it within yourself. Number 10. Every day of your life, conceive of yourself as living in partnership and companionship with God. If He actually walked by your side, would you be worried or afraid? Well then, say to yourself, He is with me. Affirm aloud, I am with you always. Then change it to say, He is with me now. Repeat that affirmation 3 times every day. And that is the end of chapter 9. I hope you found it helpful. Do put it into practice. My name is Catherine, and if you do like what I'm doing, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.